Keep your style sheets more maintainable with variables. I'm going to show you how to do this in episode 6 of the Layout Medic screencast. Okay, as you can see, I've got a very simple page, but this is just enough to show you what I want to show you. Basically what I want to point out is, so some of the colors are repeated throughout, and then we've got some styles like this border that is repeated a couple times, and then there's also the width to consider. Basically what I want to do is different colors and sizes and things that I want to use over and over. I want to put those in a place where I only have to update it once, and then it's going to update everywhere else that I need that particular rule, without having to dig around through CSS files or using find and replace, which is still a little error prone. We're going to use variables to do this. So first thing I'm going to do is we're basically going to rebuild that with a Ruby library called less, and it's a Ruby gem. If you're on a Mac, you already have Ruby installed. If you're on Windows, then after the demo, then I'm going to show you where you can go to get it. And you don't have to have Ruby on your server. This is actually just running on your computer to generate the style sheet, and then you can upload it via FTP or whatever else that you use. So let me just refresh this without any styles, just so you can see it. And the first thing I'm going to do is I have this style.less in my scripts folder, and basically I'm just going to write a rule to change the link color. Now so far, I mean, this is all normal stuff, so I want to also change the H2 to the same color. And that's all fine and dandy, but like I said, if you want to change it, then you've got to change both places, and remember to find and replace and do all that stuff. But what we're going to do instead is set up a variable called dark color. So with less, you're basically going to start off with the @ sign here, and then you can call it whatever you want, dark color. And then after that, it's just like a regular CSS rule. So you put a colon and then a space and then whatever the color was that you want to use. Now, because I've got that set up, I can just copy that, and then go to my command line here, and the command is lessc, and then the name of your style.less, or whatever you choose to call it. Just use the less extension, excuse me, and then the location of where you want the generated file to go. So that's going to be style.css. So run that. If it doesn't give you any errors or anything and it comes back, that means that it worked. So this, as you remember, I completely cleared out, but instead it's got this right here. That's a CSS rule saying the H2 and the A should have that color. So if we refresh, and you see the colors have changed because we ran that command, which basically generated those rules. So what I'm going to do for the rest of the screencast is run that same command, but I'm going to add 2 hyphens and then watch. And basically what that does is it's going to keep it running in the background, and every time we save the .less file, it's going to generate the style sheet automatically. So just to save that, let's say we want to change all the links and the H2 to red. So I save that, and since it's using dark color here and dark color there, I'm going to look, and what do you know, it changed it right there. And if I refresh, it changes both those links to red too. So hopefully just with that you can already see what kind of power we have. So I just changed it, and there it's changed back. One of the ways I found this really useful is for dimensions. So you may remember that we had the sidebar kind of floating, and then we had the content come after it. So we have main, and we want to float right, and then we want to give it a width of, I don't know, 800 pixels. Oop, I didn't have to do anything there. So I saved it, and it went ahead and put that in there. And so it floated this up right, just as you'd expect from a regular CSS. So I actually have a div wrapped around my entire thing called wrap, and I'm just going to define a variable called total width. And let's say we want to do it at 960 pixels, and then let's define our wrap rule. And so width is the total width, and let's go ahead and center this. So margin 0 auto. All right. So there we go. And as you can see, if I move it, it's centered, and it's only a width of 960. This is where another place where the power really comes in. So let's say I want the sidebar to never be more than 240 pixels. So I'm going to make another rule here. I don't need to put that in. Float right, and width is sidebar width. Now this might seem like a lot of work at first, but we can use formulas. So I'm going to say the main width is going to equal the total width, and then minus the sidebar width. Okay, so I can take that out. Well, I didn't need to take the whole thing, but so we're going to put main width. Okay, I saved it. Let's take a look. That didn't, let's see. Sidebar width is undefined. That is one thing. If it doesn't work, then go back to your terminal and it will show you any errors. So let's take a look here. Oh, as you can see, I am missing a D here. So let's start again. Okay, there we go. It updated it for us. And now we have it so that the main width, we didn't even have to figure out what that was. So we just took the total, subtracted whatever the sidebar is going to be, which is great because now, let's say the client comes back, oh, we want to change it to 800 pixels. So I just saved that. I didn't have to update anything else. And now the entire width is only 800 pixels, and this was variably updated. And so now it is 560 pixels wide. Okay, so we had, one of the other things we had was that border. So I'm going to create a class called bordered, and we're going to make it 10 pixels just for kicks solid, and then we will use that dark color again. Now, in most cases, when you create a new class, you'll know that you have to go back to your HTML and update all of those so that update all your divs and your paragraph tags with that class. But in this case, well, all I need to do is, let's move all this down. So I have the header, and inside of it, I'm just going to add a dot and then bordered, and save it. And let's see what happens. Nothing. Dark color is undefined. Oh, there was no hyphen here. Okay. So there we go. That has the border, and so now we can also say that sidebar and then side block is also going to have bordered in there. And there we go. So that's what's cool about that, is now I can just update this to 1 pixel. And all my borders magically are 1 pixel now. So let's change it to 5. That you can see. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, it's not. I want to show you one more thing. So the other thing you can do is nest different CSS rules. So let's say all the links in the side block, I want to make those red, but keep the content ones yellow. So in my sidebar, I can nest an anchor tag here, color red. And let's see what happened. So it's got a rule here for the sidebar, and then it's got a rule here for all the A tags in the sidebar. And it did that just because we wrote that A tag inside of the rule for the sidebar. So if we refresh, and there you go. That one is red, and that one is still the color blue. So now let's talk about how you can get it. So if you're on a Mac, Leopard users have Ruby gems installed, so you'll just need to go to your terminal. It's in your utilities and your applications, and then you'll need to write sudo, S-U-D-O, gem, install, and then less, and then enter. It will ask for your password, and it'll look out on the internet, and if you get this one gem installed successfully, then you're good to go. Now, if you are on a PC, there is a one-click Ruby installer at RubyForge. You can go to rubyforge.org/project/Ruby installer. And then you'll see the one-click installer for Windows. Click download, and then you'll want to install the 1.8.6 final release. So here's the link to the executable. Save that, run it. It will ask if you want to install Ruby gems. It's like a checkbox, and then once you do that, let's see, you'll want to go to run. And then you'll see the CMD, click, or you'll need to type CMD. In other words, that was the last command I ran anyway. So it'll give you your command prompt. If you want to make sure it installed correctly, you can type ruby-v, and it should give you that little message right there telling you what version of Ruby you have installed, and the same thing. So gem install less. And that will get it for you. So once you do that, then you can just go to the directory that you have your files stored in, and you can basically run that command from anywhere. And I hope you got something out of this, as always. And come back for more. We're on Facebook, Twitter. We have a MySpace page. I haven't done much on that, but definitely pass the word on. Tell your friends, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.